Hi drama queens! Welcome to our new show, The Glory. It's supposed to be very good, so I'm excited to share this with you. Today's episode question is, how were your high school days? Was it the best season of your life? Or was it a chapter to be forgotten? For the main character of this show, it can be described as pure hell, and this episode walks us through it in her shoes. So get comfy everybody, and let's binge! Episode 1 of The Glory starts with Moon Dong-young, we will call her Moon, driving to an apartment that she's rented. She settles in quickly and proceeds to staple pictures of Park Hyun-jin and other people on the wall. We learn that these are photos of those that had bullied her in the past. She starts picturing Park, the ringleader, entering her home and not recognizing her. She imagines herself hitting Park with the stapler and promising her that she will kill her. We're taken to the past, which explains what led her to this state. In 2004, a young Moon made an official report to the police about the bullying that she had been receiving in her high school. The police chief calls Park's mother and promises that he would make the case go away easily. Apparently, he and Park's mother were childhood friends, and Park's family is extremely rich and powerful. The police chief casually asked Park to stop bullying her fellow students. Not even a slap on the wrist, to be expected, I guess. The rest of the bullies also got picked up by their guardians with no punishment incurred. A teacher Kim from their school arrived at the police station and acted as Moon's legal guardian. He lectured Moon for going to the police over what he called a small prank amongst classmates. Park's mother actually expressed her huge disappointment in her. If you think it's for being a bully, you would be wrong. She was actually embarrassed because Park couldn't handle a nobody like Moon, who's poor and powerless. The next day, Moon got it even worse when Park burned her arm using a hair curler. The group tortured and even sexually assaulted her. Moon visited the school nurse and asked for some hydrogen peroxide. The nurse was curious as to why she needed that, so she checked Moon's arms and was shocked by the burn marks. She asked Moon who hurt her, but Moon refused to answer. The nurse volunteered to help her report the case to her teacher. That's a laugh. At this moment, Park emerged from behind the curtain of one of the infirmary beds and announced her presence. She admitted proudly to being the one that's been hurting Moon. Her face had "I dare you to do something" written all over it. A few days later, the nurse mysteriously quit. Later, Moon went home and found Park and the gang at her place. They had already started making themselves comfortable. Park ransacked the place and found Moon's piggy bank. She asked Moon to either dance for them or get burned by a hand iron to get her savings back. They ended up using the hand iron on her legs. Moon finally reached breaking point and she thought about suicide. She actually almost drowned herself in the freezing river, but good thing she came to her senses. She decided to drop out of school. On her form, she listed her bullies as the reason for her leave, and her homeroom teacher, Mr. Kim, called her in and insulted her for making trouble. When she stood up for herself, he slapped her over and over again until the rest of the teachers finally stepped in to stop him. That's just wild. Elsewhere, Moon's mom, who was working at a rundown salon, got a call about her daughter. She went to a meeting with Park's mom, who gave her money as a settlement. She agreed to sign papers, citing Moon's reason for dropping out as maladjustment. Moon found out about the payout and the betrayal the next morning, get this, when her mom moved out of their house without telling her. So she got several small paying jobs to survive and she contemplated suicide again. Man, I don't blame her. She went back to school for one last time and sought out Park, who had moved on to bullying some other poor soul. She asked if the bullies were sincere when they wrote down their dreams on their social media. Park laughed and responded that obviously her dream to be a simple housewife and mother was fake. After all, she was so rich she could buy any dream. But she did let it slip somewhere along the way about her desire for a nice family. Moon told Park that she is her dream and promised Park that they won't meet again. Thus began an 18-year-long revenge plot. For the next few years, Moon used the time to study from home while also working multiple jobs to support herself. She was able to graduate high school and join a college majoring in education. Elsewhere, the bullies' lives also continue on their track, especially Park. She's seen on social media living a glamorous life. Under the surface though, her personality is still toxic and her lifestyle is quite repulsive. For example, the day before her wedding, she was still having an affair with her old classmate Jung. In present time, Moon makes her first contact with Park's little daughter, we'll call her Little Park, and tells her the story of how she knows her mom. This show is off to a dark but promising start. Bullying is such a heavy subject, and this episode contains a lot of triggering scenes. Revenge seems to be the theme of this show, and she's been plotting for years to exact it. Do you believe that revenge is best served cold? Let's check out what she has in store for her abusers in the next episode. Episode 2 starts with Moon at a cyber cafe doing some online stalking on her former bullies. Son seems to be living his best bad boy life. Sara is an artist who loves to get high and has her drugs supplied by Son. Choi is a flight attendant who steals expensive clothes from her family's dry cleaning business. And Jung, well, he owns a clothing store named Siesta. He's having an affair with Park and they always hook up around noon. He only opens up shop in the afternoon after their little siesta. Get it? It's clear that Son and Choi are of a lower social status and they're reminded of it constantly. This will be relevant later on. Moon later meets with Gu, a girl that she met while working at the factory before she went to college. They became friends because Gu admired how hardworking Moon is, and she would always take off her shoes while walking in order to not disturb Moon's studying. Moon has revealed to Gu her intentions to get revenge on her gang of bullies. Gu doesn't think revenge is a good idea, but still helps Moon open a new Instagram account to stalk the gang. Moon is working as a tutor for spoiled rich brats. One of her young male clients tried to flirt with her, so she ended the session and terminated their contract. As she's leaving, she faints outside the house and is taken to the hospital. There, she wakes up next to a new character, JY, who looks like he got beaten up and that's why he's in the bed next to her. JY takes an interest in Moon and tries to help her, but she brushes him off and leaves the hospital quickly. Turns out JY is an intern at the hospital and he's concerned when the doctor comes back with the results of her tests. He learns that Moon is severely anemic and malnutritious and that she left without a prescription. So he tracks her down at her university and he tells her that she needs to take better care of her health. Because of his kindness, they start getting closer, and he offers to teach her how to play Go. That's something that she's been keen to learn. However, Moon cuts ties with him after learning the basics of the game after a while. Her sudden departure actually affected JY quite a bit. On the other hand, Park gets married in a lavish ceremony to CEO Ha of a construction company. We learn that CEO Ha is a Go fanatic, so it's highly possible that Moon was studying Go in order to get close to Park's husband. In 2015, Moon passed the teacher's qualification exam after her second try. Park has a baby at this point. Her husband brings up that Choi from their posse needs to stop gossiping about Park's past, and Park promises to handle it. Park and Sierra meet with Choi and put her in her place, calling her poor and not at their level. In the meantime, Moon is collecting trash from her enemies and she comes across a very interesting revelation. In the present, she pretends to run into Song while shopping at the Siesta store. Dazzled by her newfound beauty, he offers to buy Moon the shoes that she was trying on and invites her to have a drink with him. He brags that he pretty much owns the store, even though it belongs to John. As they talk, Song gets a message from one of the workers informing him that John called wondering why he's yet to complete the errand that he gave him. Moon mocks Son for being John's little errand boy, and she tells him that she has some juicy information that can turn his life around and put him on the top of his friend group. We don't get to hear what it is, but it's clear that Son is tempted by her proposal. Later, Moon meets teacher Kim's son. Mr. Kim is now old and living in a nursing home. I don't know how she knows the son. Their talk is interrupted by a call from a realtor. She informs Moon that there is a vacancy in the apartment that she was looking to rent. Later at night, Moon is spotted by an employee who works for Park as she secretly tries to steal their trash. Instead of calling the police, the employee asks Moon to kill her husband in return for her silence about the garbage. The ending of this episode offers quite a twist. Is Moon even capable of killing, and why does this woman want her husband dead? At the moment, there are a lot of moving pieces that Moon is just starting to juggle. It's definitely chilling though to see that she is willing to mess with an innocent little girl in order to get her revenge. And I'm obviously a fan of Song Hye Kyo no matter what she does, but I have to say she's way more appealing in this show than Now We're Breaking Up. It's still early, but that's my verdict. It's also refreshing to see her in something that's not a romance drama. What do you guys think so far? Comment down below, and remember to subscribe and join me in the future episodes of The Glory. Thank you for watching!